records, racist drug laws, mandatory minimums, the prison-industrial complex, the continued confiscation of native land and resources on this continent, the choking to death of Eric Gardner, or working against undocumented people being kicked out of this country, or transphobia and homophobia in local communities, gender violence on college campuses. We don't have to look overseas to see militarism in action. We can see it in our own neighborhoods. So for me, while struggles are unique and different, and the manifestations of racism happen different ways, we got to be making those connections. So as somebody that's standing against occupation, apartheid in Palestine, or drone bombing of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, it's heartening, it's beautiful, it's important, it's essential to be here today. This piece is called Before the Machetes Are Raised, and just to give a little quick context before I do it, after 9/11 there was a systematic dehumanization of Arabs and Muslims, but it's something that happened long before to Black, Latino, indigenous people here. And there's this idea that 17 people could be killed in Afghanistan tomorrow, and it wouldn't really matter because they were in the Taliban, or they were friends with the Taliban, or one time they saw this YouTube video and it said Taliban on it, so we bombed the shit out of their village, killed 17 people, and whittled them down to best case scenario statistics and numbers. And when you do that, it's so much easier to pull that trigger, to drop that bomb, or occupy that village. So this is called Before the Machetes Are Raised.
That's right!
I'm disgusted by terrorism. Backwards animals who have no value for human life produce propaganda videos to disseminate their message, prey on the weakest in society, infect children, recruit fighters like expendable ants in the ideological struggle. You know who I'm talking about. Soldiers who drop bunker-busting bombs on mosques and universities, decry the Middle East, but follow authority closer than dictatorial rule, think stripes and codes rather than decency and humanity give them worth in this world. I've seen one too many Facebook invites by jingoistic kids I went to high school and grade school with. They couldn't wait to get in some trigger time, hunt down towelheads and hajis like venison. And when some Marine's grenade launcher catapults 120 mini bombs per minute, takes out 17 houses and 14 schoolgirls, I'm supposed to feel bad that he can't see his wife and daughter on Christmas. Respect his service when he comes back to the States, a murderer who destroyed a country full of daughters and wives that'll never see Eid. We're so quick to honor the troops, but don't dare mention the widows. The trembling father crying immersed in his wife's charred flesh, a fetus blown out of her stomach. The soldier said, kicking down the door was too risky. Where's the love for the 25-year-old Iraqi man whose car was riddled with American-made bullets, pain-faced and surprised look like grabbing for sky, falling of 110-story towers? As long as we don't affect our shit, we'll shout out Darfur, Rwanda, and the need for antiretrovirals. Look at human beings as aid packages who can't compete, rather than ravaged lands perfecting paradigms of imperialism and propaganda. Where is that right-wing Zionist trying to save the Congo, combating Lev Leviav in Angola, genocide in northern Uganda? Where's the humanity before the machetes are raised and proxy forces put into place? King, Mandela, and Gandhi aren't meant to be easy reference platitudes to make you feel better at night. Help you forget that uncomfortable pull Americans don't want to face. We'll worship American idols, have no value for human life. And yet, all I hear are 20-somethings telling me they just aren't into politics. I wonder what they'd say at their parents' eulogy. After they were blown up into 386 different pieces, I'm sure they wouldn't discuss things. Because politics isn't their thing. Politics isn't our thing. While we reach out for freedom and justice, we're defined as political. To undermine our suffering, create notions of two sides that equal conflict, cover up our dispossession, and burn down villages. We're political, so you can ignore us, delegitimize and forget us. But we're human beings gracing the window pane, reflecting stillborn images. We're voices, giant fires and temples. We're life that won't be forgotten. We're here, and we won't go away. We're the world's shiver. It's cold out here. And whether you recognize it or not, We're coming inside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Give it up for Remi Kanizi one more time, y'all.